Hey, Mean Matt here. So, for a while now, I really wanted to do this. Make a video about all the albums of my favorite bands. And I thought, well, let's try it out, see how it goes. And I can't wait to see how it turns out. So, I thought today, since you could see here, I'm going to do one of my all-time favorite bands, Metallica. And just disclaimer, I want to let everyone know that this is opinion based, and yeah, so if you don't like it, grow some balls and listen anyways. So here we go. One more thing, I'm not going to cover all albums like Garage Inc., Lulu, S&M, Binge, yeah, all those. So yeah, and I'm not covering those. So, here we go. So, we begin in 1983. Kill 'Em All, Metallica's first album. And it's kind of funny because you see this band start off with Lars Ulrich, James Hetfield, who basically are the, I guess, main members of this band, much like Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley are to Kiss. But nonetheless, you have Lars Ulrich, James Hetfield, Cliff Burton, who would eventually join the band, and of course Dave Mustaine. What's interesting about this is actually Dave Mustaine's only time with the band. Yeah, he got fired for getting drunk and being a little bit more aggressive than the rest of the other band, who obviously were heavy drinkers as well. He was replaced by Kurt Hammett from Exodus, and yeah, band was tight for a long time. This is pretty cool, you know. You have Seek and Destroy, you've got Metal Militia, you've got a lot of very cool, heavy thrash sounds. This band took influences from the British new wave of heavy metal and punk rock, and yeah, there's bands before Metallica that did this, but it kind of was probably one of the best bands in this time period. I mean, Metallica really, even though they were young and they were still, I guess, trying to find their sound, this was pretty cool at that time. And unfortunately not the Metallica that I was introduced to, but still one of the best albums. Obviously their sound would change through the years, but yeah, for their first, this was pretty cool. So, Ride the Lightning came out in 1984, the year I was born, and this is actually an even better record. I mean, you got one of the best epic songs that I know, For Whom the Bell Tolls. You've got Fight Fire with Fire. You have Fade to Black, which is one of their, I guess, first ballads. I'm not quite sure. I obviously did a cover a couple years ago. Go check it out. You have the second one, which is obviously kind of songs that were probably left out from Kill 'Em All, but this is pretty cool. This is kind of, you know, stronger than, in my opinion anyways, better than Ride the Lightning. They're obviously still trying to change a little bit. I mean, a lot of people say that a lot of bands don't change their sound in each album, and I don't think that's true. I think that every album has to sound at least a little bit different, and yeah, each Metallica sound sounds completely different, especially this one. They're a lot more, I think, well, I can't really explain it, so this is one of my favorites, and that's pretty much all I have to say about that. So, this is Metallica's, I'm sure everyone will agree, one of their best albums ever. I think for most people probably started listening to Metallica through this one right here. It's pretty much one of the best Metallica albums that are out there. You know, you've got Master of Puppets, you've got a lot of cool songs, Battery, Damage Inc., Disposable Heroes, The Thing That Should Not Be, of course, their instrumental, Orion. It's just one of the best, heaviest Metallica albums out there. And, of course, and the sad part of this is this would be the last album of Cliff Burton, who tragically would pass away the following year in September in a bus accident. And yeah, a very difficult blow for these people that work so hard at being a great success, and this definitely will always be one of the best albums. And you know, when people look at, especially Anastasia, they're going to look at his best work. Cliff Burton was, and always will be, one of the best bass players in heavy metal. And yeah, so there it is. This is, again, another awesome Metallica record. So, you got Injustice for All, and I tell you know, you get Cliff Burton, who was tragically killed, and then you've got a new bass player, a guy that was a long-time Metallica fan from Flotsam and Jetsam, Jason Newsted. And yeah, they really hazed the hell out of that guy. It's one of those things where they weren't grieving properly, they really messed with him, and apparently when you listen to this record, the bass is turned down, you can't really hear it, but yeah, one of the more interesting ones out there as well. I mean, you get to see One, which, when I first heard that song, it scared the crap out of me. Well, actually, that's not true. When I first heard the song, it was awesome. When I saw the video, it scared the crap out of me. And yeah, it was really interesting. You've got Harvester of Sorrow, which is another one of my favorites. To Live Is To Die, The Fragrance of Sanity, The Prince, which is a Diamond Hand cover, and of course the title of the album, And Justice for All. It's still another one of my favorite Metallica records, and yeah, it's pretty cool. And to see that the lineup will stick around for another few years, and obviously big changes will be coming as the 80s close and the 90s begin. So this is the second album I was introduced to with Metallica, the Black Album, and obviously as the 90s came in, the sound kind of changed. You have Bob Rock, who managed a lot of bands, come in and say, you know what, we gotta start to change a lot of things with the way it's produced. You gotta be more radio friendly in a way, I guess. I don't really know, but yeah, the Black Album is basically, in my opinion, it's still a metal record. I think the difference is it's not a thrash record. It's a lot slower at times. It's still heavy, but there's no like real fast anything. And of course you get another ballad, Nothing Else Matters. So there's a lot of really good songs here too. You've got Sad But True, you've got Enter Sandman, which is obviously another epic song, or as Tommy Dreamer would say, Enter the Sandman. You have Wherever I May Roam. There's a bunch of really cool songs that I really got into. And yeah, of course, it was going to be played on the radio. I think that, you know, and fans turned on Metallica because they released a video for one. When they said they were never going to do that, then this album definitely didn't win them fans either. I mean, it's kind of too bad in a way, because Metallica, in my opinion, still were one of the best metal bands out there. Even if this wasn't a thrash metal album, I think this was still a metal record. I don't know. I think because there was that whole ballad thing with Nothing Else Matters, it still was pretty cool to me. I think that a lot of people really don't know what the hell they're talking about, but I still enjoy it, and yeah, there it is. So if you think the Black Album was a departure from their traditional sound, yeah, those next two are definitely something that really changed Metallica. I mean, it went from 1991 and you go all the way now in 1996. And yeah, these guys definitely looked a lot different. You know, short hair, you've got them looking really interesting, and they're playing hard rock, or whatever you want to call it. A different Metallica, which, you know, you have a lot of interesting songs that you would never think they would play. You know, Ain't My Bitch, The House That Jack Built, 2x4, Wasting My Hate, Thorn Within, Bleeding Me, which, by the way, is one of my favorite songs on this album. And then, of course, you've got Until It Sleeps, which was what I got introduced to when I first heard this band. Oddly enough, when I saw the video for this, I thought, oh, this must be a shock rock band. Of course, this was the year of Marilyn Manson, so yeah, there it is. But this is a pretty cool album, even if it's not traditionally a Metallica record. I think that these four definitely pulled another great one. Of course, you got the soul-crushing Mama Said, which is a country song, no less. But there it is, Metallica Loud, one of the most interesting. Of course, you'll see the other half shortly, I guess. So, 1996 got Loud, and this is Reload, 1997. And yes, one of the second albums out there that, well, it's basically the same. It's a hard rock classic, I'm sure. I'm probably wrong on that, but I really liked it. You know, it's kind of very cool just to see how that evolves. You know, Metallica is one of those bands that just keep evolving. Better or worse, I don't know. But anyways, you've got The Unforgiven 2, which is kind of supposed to be the second song for Unforgiven, which is on the Black Album. It's obviously sounding different, and it's still a very cool song anyways. The Memory Remains, which has Marianne Faithfull doing backing vocals. What's interesting about this is when I first heard The Memory Remains and Marianne's Faithfull, her voice, and this isn't a knock to her, but it sounded like I was having trolls coming up behind me for some reason. Anyways, yeah, so this was a good song too. You got Better Than You, you got Bad Seed, Slither, The Devil's Dance, The Fixer. It's a very cool album, and yeah, even though, again, it's not your traditional Metallica record, it's still an awesome record anyways. Well, this is interesting. So yeah, Metallica did a lot more since Reload. I mean, they did Garage Inc., the S&M, Symphony San Francisco, and with Metallica. But really, it was more or less best of, or, you know, cover songs and whatever. So this is kind of their journey back to their original stuff. And honestly, this was my last year of high school. I was very happy that Metallica was finally coming back. It was a really long time, you know, and a lot of other bands definitely came out before then. You had AC/DC come out with one, you got Kiss coming out with one, but yet no Metallica. So when this came out, I was really excited to get it. And of course, when it came out, a lot of people, once again, thought it was garbage. So, I mean, you listen to it and it's, okay, well, a lot of it doesn't sound anything like Metallica. It's more or less their journey through James's rehab and the infighting and all this other stuff. And yeah, definitely sounds more like a punk record in my opinion. There's no solos, it's just kind of, and yeah, most of the songs don't make sense, but I have my favorites, obviously, Frantic being one of them, and Saint Anger's not that bad. I think there's another song in there, but yeah, it's kind of just interesting because, well, Purify's pretty good, but I mean, other than that, yeah, this album is, well, experimental, obviously, and yeah, I mean, this is the one where people are gonna say really sucks. I mean, Metallica can do no right, so that's kind of too bad, but eventually they'll get their things together, and yeah, there it is. Not to mention that Jason Newsted left the band in 2000, so you really had to look at who they were going to be replaced with. Well, none other than Robert DeHero, guy who was in Ozzy Osbourne and Suicidal Tendencies. What's interesting about this is that Robert was replaced for Metallica, and Newsted had been replaced to do Ozzy, be his bass player. Very cool just to see how two bands made an awesome switch. So we jump to 2008 from 2003, Death Magnetic. Now, obviously, they tried to get back into their roots, but let's face it, it's not ever going to sound like Kill 'Em All. This was definitely a great start to what was garbage from Saint Anger. Death Magnetic is one of those things where, yeah, the lyrics don't necessarily make sense either, but hey, what the hell. You got Unforgiven 3, which is one of my favorite songs from that trilogy now, and yeah, I still enjoy it. The Day That Never Comes is definitely half instrumental, half vocals from James. I think that, well, that definitely shows you that some of the lyrics can be kind of dumb. I mean, people make fun of Nickelback, but I digress. This is still a pretty cool album, in my opinion. You know, I don't know what else to say about it. I think that they definitely tried and obviously do a lot better from here. So yeah, Death Magnetic was definitely an awesome album this year. 2016 was the last time, at least for a while anyways, that we got to see Metallica in one of their best records in a long time. Obviously, Death Magnetic was awesome. Beyond Magnetic, which didn't really cover it, it was only 4 songs. It was still really good songs, but Hardwired to Self-Destruct definitely is bringing us back to their roots as a thrash metal band. You know, there's definitely songs like Atlas Rise, Hardwired, which is definitely a killer song, Moth into the Flame, which I love. You know, definitely got the Iron Maiden-ish sound. They do a song that's dedicated to Lemmy. And yeah, this is definitely a really good metal album from Metallica. I know that it's been a long time since, and you know, I can't really wait to see what Metallica does next. I mean, definitely they do experiment, and a lot of bands, you know, a lot of people don't care about that, but Metallica still definitely, it doesn't matter what they do, I still enjoy it. They're still my favorite, or well, at least one of my favorite all-time bands out there. And yeah, a lot of respect for this band. They don't care what other people say. They do what they want, and you know what? I think that's basically what a band should do. I mean, yeah, do what you want your fans to do, but at the same time, you gotta do what you want to do at the end. And Metallica definitely doesn't care. They just do what they want, and you know, people like it, people like it, people hate it, people hate it. And I'm one of those people that really enjoy Metallica, and for hopefully many more years to come. Yeah, Metallica definitely one of the all-time greatest bands ever. So that's basically it. I talked about Metallica front to back. I really kind of enjoyed this actually, and I wanted to do this for a very long time, and didn't know if I should, but I did it anyway, so whatever. So if you have any suggestions, or you want to see a band being mentioned from the beginning to the end, you know, I'll do my best. If you watch this video, that is. Yeah, it was pretty fun to watch, and hopefully you liked it. And if you didn't, well, who cares? Just watch it, subscribe, and basically that's it. So, yeah, talk to you later. Bye.